Hello, and welcome to New Jersey Wedding Podcast. If you are planning a wedding in New Jersey, this podcast is for you. We are your hosts, Andrea and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants here in the state of New Jersey. And we are giving you an insider's look to everything wedding in New Jersey. So it's supposed to be a helpful podcast for you to use while planning your wedding right here in New Jersey. And we thank you for joining us. Hello, Celia. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing really great, really great. I'm looking at the week ahead. I mean, we're recording this on a Monday, a beautiful Monday here in Jersey.
Mm,
I have an interesting week coming up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 elopements this week. What is
yes,
at the beginning of June and elopements? It's beautiful. I
elopement
love
season.
elopements. I have 6 elopements, 1 micro wedding at the park, and then a big one at the Sunset Ballroom, Jack Baker's Lobster Shanty Sunset Ballroom in Point Beach. But 6 elopements, that's quite wonderful. I know you and I both
Yeah.
offer some really great elopement packages. They are very affordable, and we do them in beautiful
Very cute
parks.
places, not like the court, not the courtroom, like after
Right.
traffic court.
This is
Nope.
no, not next to traffic court. You do not have
Nope.
to go through a metal detector. We are on the beach. We are at some beautiful parks. It's funny, because I was thinking I have 6 this week. And you and I both do this professionally. So we do this every day of the week. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Monday
It's
through Sunday, we're out there. So we both have a lot of availability for an elopement ceremony. There's also no need to do a giant group one. I just read that in the
no, I know, I know. I don't kind of reminded me of like those big hundreds of couples at a time. Like I don't know.
Well,
You know what?
those
It's
are like
funny. My part,
cults.
like the whole town gets married at once. My partner Michael does most of our elopements, not all, but he loves doing them. He's really great at them. And and the thing that I think a lot of people elope for a lot of different reasons.
Wow.
We all do, we just need to get married because we have a mortgage rate in the balance or health insurance or a visa or something else. And most of
Or
those
we're
people,
having a
yeah,
destination wedding, and I'm not
we're
gonna deal
having
with the
that's the
red tape
biggest
of
one.
Jamaica. I'm gonna
Right.
have a very inexpensive beautiful, intimate elopement that
And
we
we
provide them, you know?
and we know they're legally married.
Yeah.
That you don't have a waiter on the beach and you don't even know what happened to we don't know what happened to that.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for people to know too that there are some people, some couples that this elopement at the beach or at the park or some this is the only thing that they're going to do for
Right,
their wedding.
right.
And Michael's always, he says we want to make it nice for them.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, well, do you want to get married? Yes, fine, great, goodbye. It's some of the people that he's married, we get these thank you notes. They're like, wow, I thought it was just going to be kind of check the boxes and go home. And it's like, well, no, if this is going to be your wedding, even if there's only 4 or 5 people there, it should still feel like your wedding.
Right. Almost, I'm 99.9% of my couples come dressed up, wedding
Yeah.
dresses, and they come dressed up, they carry a bouquet.
Yeah.
We make it as special. It's a simple ceremony, but it's beautiful ceremony. Would you want it religious, non-religious? I do a lot of beach. I know the beaches to go to, the free beaches that have barely anybody on them,
Mhm.
and where we can have a beautiful ceremony. And it's always people just love it, so we take it as serious as we do a big wedding, and
Absolutely.
you can bring your
Absolutely.
dog.
Yes, you can. And most of our parks are dog friendly. So
Yeah.
you bring your dogs.
I don't know about you, Celia. I'm always scoping out, if we're driving around and you see a new like
Yeah.
park coming up or this, there's like, oh, wait a minute. Can you see the sunset from there? I got to go there. What time does sunset tonight? I got to go to that new park and see what it looks like. And if we can do elopements there, I'm always
Yeah.
on the scoping out a new spot for them.
I know. We got rooftops. We just,
Right.
Michael was at one of the piers that overlooks the New York skyline last week. And I have to say it was a lot easier than I expected it to. I'm always expecting, like, if I go someplace new, that I just need to know everything about it because something, it's going to be like where all like the snakes go to mate or something, It's
Yeah, you gotta make sure
like
you're not
I need to know
at the
everything
snake
about
pit
it. So
part of
like
the park. Yeah.
it's really it's if nobody wants to talk about that part, but I like to have my people be prepared and not be like nervous, and
Yeah,
like, well, what we tend to talk a lot about bathrooms, don't we? Like there aren't any bathrooms on the beach, and
right.
there's courtesans in two of our parks, which you don't want to plan on getting changed in there. Okay,
No,
you just
no,
don't.
right. Yeah. So,
Although
what do you
I
have
do
coming
hear
up
that
this week?
what
I was
what
gonna ask you I talked about what I'm doing this week.
what am I
What
doing
do you
this
have
week?
coming up this week and weekend?
Um, we have a really sweet wedding at the Bakari Grill, which is
Oh,
a lovely little restaurant. It's in Westwood. It's, North Jersey. Really nice people, terrific food. Um, I think that's like a micro, that's like 40 or 50. Michael's got a big wedding at the mansion at Natterer and a
oh,
couple of
beautiful.
elopements
Love
along the
that.
way. And I am going to Sherwood Forest,
Oh,
which
I love
I
Sherwood
love
Forest
Sherwood
too.
Forest.
What a
I've
unique. I love what a
It's so
unique.
sweet. I feel like it's really kind of a little hidden gem, that people don't really know about it. But the people there are so lovely, and the ceremony space is beautiful. It's so I'm looking forward to it. I have a great couple there, so we're just all going to hope for like nice weather for all your elopements and all our weddings, and for
Yeah.
nobody to get rained on.
Yeah, yeah. And we had the pleasure to um interview Jennifer. So
Mm,
if you're planning something other than an elopement, if
yes.
you are planning a large luxury wedding, we have interviewed a really nice interview with Jennifer Tolento
Hmm.
Events, and
Yep.
she offers all kinds of wedding coordination. And it was a really nice interview. I know I've worked with her on several
Yes,
occasions
we
as
all
well
have
as
to.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all been
Yeah.
around long enough to say that.
Yes,
And
I know.
I think you'll enjoy this interview. She talks about how she connects with her couples and tailors,
Mm.
what she does to them. She also does design as well.
I
So
think what came out with her, she said, people are kind of looking for something different, something that their guests maybe haven't seen before, some, an aspect of their wedding that might be really riffing off their personalities.
yeah,
And I just think that that's so much fun. But she um she sounded like she could come up with a lot of really, really interesting ideas for that. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She did. She did. She's come up with some really good personalized ideas, and she talks about specifically one. So I think everyone will enjoy this. And she does have a passion for what she does, which is always so nice, you
I
know.
think that came through really clearly is
Yeah.
her enthusiasm for what she does, and
Yeah.
also wanting to connect with other vendors, other wedding pros that treat their couples with that same kind of enthusiasm, kind of a sense of discovery, a sense of excitement.
Right, right. So, well, thank you everyone for joining us today and stay tuned for this really great interview. Happy
Yeah.
wedding planning.
Bye bye.
Want to get married without the stress of a big wedding? Looking for a ceremony that's all about the two of you? Or maybe you just can't wait to say I do. New Jersey Elope can make your dream of an intimate and unforgettable wedding day a reality. Picture this: exchanging vows with the sand between your toes on a beautiful beach, saying I do surrounded by nature in a serene park, or celebrating your love under the elegant arch in my cozy office. So, whether you crave the coastal breeze, the charm of the outdoors, or a private, hassle free setting, we have the perfect elopement ceremony for you. Visit NewJerseyElope.com and start planning your dream wedding today. New Jersey Elope, where your love story begins. Hi, thank you for joining New Jersey Wedding Podcast. This is the podcast to listen to plan your wedding in New Jersey. And congratulations on your engagement. And thank you for joining us today. We are your hosts, Andrea Pertel and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants here in the state of New Jersey. And hello, Celia. How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How's everybody else doing today?
Great.
It's beautiful. It's another gorgeous day in New Jersey in wedding season, and
We are lucking out with this weather,
boy,
right?
that's so true. It's so true. Well, we're
Okay.
having a great day because we are happy to welcome Jennifer Tolento. She's the owner and mastermind behind Jennifer Tolento Events in Middletown, New Jersey. Her boutique style wedding planning company allows her to take the individual time to form trusting relationships with her couples and really pay attention to the details that make their wedding one of a kind, which I think if everybody wants that feeling to have that wedding that people leave going, wow, that was really great. And Jennifer can make that happen. Hi Jennifer, how are you? What's going on?
Good morning. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
No problem. We're heading we're knee deep in wedding season. How is your season going?
That's for sure. Yes, we're in full swing here. April, May, June really gets the season kicked off. Thankfully, we are having great weather, which has
Oh
been
yeah.
really nice. Yeah, so we have full swing of the season, and it feels great. The winter time, there's always that little bit of a lull. So it feels nice to get back to it.
Right,
It
right.
really
Where were you
does.
this weekend, Jennifer? We're recording on a Monday. Did you have weddings this weekend?
Yes, so I did. So actually, Friday was my daughter's prom, which
Oh,
I
Wow.
I did help plan. It was at Bellworks in Homedale.
oh,
They
great.
have a
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
beautiful
pretty.
banquet center on
well,
their
works.
bottom level, which has windows all around the whole ballroom where they could see out,
Mhm.
onto the fountain and the ponds and stuff like that. So it's a great space, to host events, weddings.
Yes.
It's a really large space.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so it's great. And then Sunday I was at Bear Brook Valley,
Hmm.
actually
Nice.
There a lot. Yeah.
showing clients the venue they're looking to get married next year. So I was doing venue tours with them, and I was at Bear Brook Valley on Sunday, so that was nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of my faves.
Yeah,
That's
Celia's there a lot. And
yeah.
I'm just going to say proms have come a long way since I was in school. What happened to
That's so
Yes,
celebrating the
true.
cafeteria?
yes.
I mean, it's wonderful and good for these kids, but I mean, right? But Bellworks is a beautiful place to have a ceremony. So, all right, yeah. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a full service wedding and event planner. I focus primarily on weddings. It's about 80 to 90% of what I do.
Mhm.
And I help clients with everything, from full planning, where they come to me and they have no idea where to start. They, don't know what venue, a date. They kind of have nothing done and really need some guidance on how to get started. I also have a partial planning package. That's for clients who've kind of gotten the ball rolling. Maybe they have a venue and have booked a vendor or two, and they're getting overwhelmed and really need me to kind of jump in and help them finish off the rest of the planning.
Mhm.
So I kind of have packages for wherever clients are in the planning process. I also design is included in both of those packages as well. And then I also have wedding coordination, which is for couples that have planned everything themselves and then feel like they really need somebody to help pull it all together, tie up the loose ends, make sure everything is confirmed, and then be there the day of to really manage and make sure that everything that was promised to them by their vendors is executed.
Right, right. Yeah, the one thing that you offer that I don't see every planner offer is your ceremony and reception design. So you actually design um do the flowers and all of that? What is that?
So yeah, my design package is really for clients who have sometimes have a vision or don't have a vision, and they need assistance with where do I go to make this happen? What vendors do I use?
Oh,
What florist does this design? What rental companies have these items? So I use my network of vendors, whether it's a florist, a rental company, places like that that can help them bring that to life. And I coordinate with them utilizing their budget, their vision. I clean up a lot of the Pinterest board or create one if they don't have one, to really hone in and help them, explain what it is they're looking for to make it come to life. So I will, secure proposals and rentals for them. They'll give me a lot of feedback. I have a lot of design forms they fill out. We have meetings prior to, me going to the vendors that I know would fit the budget and fit the design vision. A lot of florists can do, pretty much anything. But I do feel like there's certain florists, certain rental companies that really hone in on a specific kind of design. Some do that very, lavish thing very well. Some florists, do that more simple elegance better. So I really kind of tailor who I recommend to them,
Right.
based
Tailor it
on what
to
what what
their,
their budget is and what the vision is. Because there are some florists where you need at least $10,000 just to walk in the door to work with them. Not everybody has that budget.
no, yeah. Yeah, that's
Wow.
great. Tailoring it to their budget and their design. Great. Your experience and connection with all of these vendors that you've worked with really helps to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really do that with all my packages when I'm recommending photographers, DJs, bands. I don't just have a list that I hand my clients and say, okay, well, here's who I recommend. Let me know what you think. I get to know my clients really well. That's why I do keep my business very boutique style. I will only take on 20 to 25 weddings a year,
Right.
because I want to really make sure they're getting that personal attention and assistance while keeping, the level of service I'm giving them, top notch. I don't want them to feel like I'm planning, 30, 40 weddings besides theirs. I want them to feel like I'm only planning their wedding.
Yeah, that they're
So by being, able to spend the time to get to know them, that's the best way for me to make recommendations. And knowing their personality and knowing, oh, this photographer would fit great with them. Not only are they, have their date available and they're in their budget, but personality wise, they're a great fit. Things like that. So it's more about me matching what the client's, style and their vibe is and their personality, not just their budget and do they have their date available.
right, right. You really create a relationship with the couple, Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love working with vendors who also want to put in that effort and energy to get to know the clients, not just show up the day
Right.
of. And really, every vendor I recommend, whether it's from officiants to DJs, videographers, photographers, everyone I recommend really puts their heart and soul into this. It's not just, okay, see you on the wedding day. They will continually reach out to my clients to check in, to get to know them and really build their own relationship with them as well.
Right. I know that both Celia and I have worked with you on several occasions.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's always a pleasure to work with you and your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, those are the only vendors that I recommend. It's, I want my clients to feel, it's their wedding day, right? It's, one of the biggest days in your life, especially up to that point before you have a family and things like that. So, it's you can't get that day back. I don't want them to ever feel like they're spending the day and working with someone they paid who they don't feel good vibes from, or they don't feel like they really want to be there, or that they'd rather be somewhere else. Everyone that I surround my clients with really just is just so happy in what they do. They bring that good energy to the day, and everyone just works, well as a team. And that's how it is. It's a team effort, right? You
Right.
see what the wedding day looks like. It's
When we
all
show
hands
up,
on deck.
yeah, when
Yeah,
we show up, we all become your wedding team. Yeah.
absolutely.
That's so true. And I think that really, we talk about this over and over again, how that really just makes such a difference with having, people who like walk in knowing that they're going to work with other people that they really like, who are going to just pitch in and get whatever has to be done, whether it's moving a table or filling a vase or, whatever needs to be done is going to get done. Because it's, we're all working towards a common goal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you just want the clients walking away smiling, saying this was the best day I ever had. And I like to set that tone with my clients, right from the first consultation. And I let them know, you want to walk away from your meeting with me and with all your vendors and say, oh, I felt such good energy and I feel like they're going to be so present and do a great job and really have my best interest at heart. You don't want to walk away from a meeting saying, oh, I don't know, how I felt about their personality. You want to mesh with everyone. We're spending a lot of time planning, and the day of the wedding, you have your photographer and your DJ, your band, they're with you through your whole reception. Some of us starting with you from the morning. Your officiants marrying you. It's literally why you're there. So you obviously want to
Yeah.
feel you want to feel a connection, to them as well. I know the biggest thing is my clients always say, oh, I was at a friend's wedding and the photographer really was just not kind, or I really didn't like, the DJ or the band didn't really listen to what, the bride was telling them that she wanted, during their planning meetings, and he didn't do what they asked. And I never want my clients to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's too big a day for that. And as you said, it's for most people, it's the first time they're ever going to plan something of this magnitude, emotionally and monetarily. It's a huge thing. And to be learning how to do that as you're doing it, I don't know, that's the best idea. You want
Absolutely.
you want to
Now,
have somebody who knows what they're doing. What
yeah.
Jen, what are the kind of things you're seeing from your clients that you're planning with that are maybe new or different or not really necessarily trends, but what are their concerns and their thoughts?
I would say a lot of couples today are telling me that they want their guests to really have an interactive experience with their wedding. At that point, at that age, you could be going to 10 weddings a year
Yep.
sometimes.
Yeah. That's
And a
true.
lot of them are like, oh, okay, we sat, in a room and four walls all night, and okay, we talked, we danced, but there was nothing like super memorable about it. So I see a lot of clients asking for suggestions on how do we get our guests to do something that's interactive, whether it's an audio guest book or something fun aside from just a regular seating chart, where maybe there's something interactive the guests do to find their name and their table number. So things that are just a little more engaging,
Yeah.
just to be more memorable. And some of those things really don't have to cost a lot of money. It
Right.
doesn't have to, something that I recently, suggested to one of my clients, which she loved, was that they're very big on, their family owns a restaurant, so they're very big on that client experience and welcoming. And I said to her, well, what if we had almost like a guest check-in, where we had somebody greet your guests when they came in, and actually told them their table number, like when you
Oh,
check
that's
in at a
cool.
restaurant.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And we came up with something a little more interactive like that, and we're doing these really cute cards that they get handed to go to their table. But again, it's just something different. It's just fun. It's interactive, and it's not. It doesn't cost you this. Some people are doing these big elaborate seating charts, which are absolutely gorgeous. But sometimes people don't want to spend $2,000-3,000 on a seating chart.
Yeah.
And it's just something they go over, they read their name, and they go to their seat. Whereas this is something a little more interactive. And that's just an example of what I mean by having the guests have a different experience right from when they walk in.
Right.
And
Right.
it's fitting to them because their family owns a restaurant, they're in that business. So
Yeah.
when people
So,
walk in, they're gonna get it. They're gonna say, "Oh, this is so cute. This is such a personal stamp for them." And
right.
that's what I like to do. Find something that the couple, the guests are gonna walk in and go, "Oh, this is
It's
such a classic." You
so
know,
them. So them.
right,
Right. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun about stuff like
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Personalized to them. That's a great idea. What a great idea, Jennifer, to have them like the maitre d' seating them because
that.
they're
Absolutely.
owners of a restaurant. That's great. I have seen the phone thing quite a bit where people leave a message on the phone, that thing. the
Yeah,
audio
that's become very popular in the
Yeah,
last, few years. And, it's something that's sweet because, we've gotten away from that, traditional guest book where guests just sign, client, couples or want something that they can either use in their home or display, just something that's more memorable. And then, the phone actually, is great for that purpose. But then it is also something that's interactive that the guests can engage, that can engage in.
right,
It's
right.
kind of cute.
Uh,
Yeah.
I see on your website you have wedding packages and then you have luxury weddings. Explain the luxury weddings. And you can get a luxury wedding for you can do it for your budget. Is a luxury more well, what's the difference between wedding packages and luxury weddings?
So, luxury weddings are for clients who are really looking for a very personal, tailored experience. Sometimes it's destination, sometimes, and destination doesn't necessarily have to mean going, we're going to Mexico. I've had clients do luxury destination weddings where we're upstate New York for a whole weekend, and
Yeah.
they essentially are paying to have all their guests come on site to, one of these venues, and they're staying for the whole weekend, and we're creating all kinds of fun activities for them to do the whole weekend. So it's
I
almost
like
like a
this.
mini vacation for their guests. They want them to celebrate the whole weekend with them. So
Right,
sometimes that's considered a luxury wedding where, like I said, there's just a lot more involved. It's not your
right,
typical, okay, we're having this ceremony, cocktail, and 4-hour reception. They
right.
want something elevated to another level,
Right. So you'll have
where it's
people
multiple day.
before, yeah.
Right, so sometimes it's multiple day celebrations. It's transporting their guests on their expense. So there's just a lot more involved.
Gotcha.
Which I've done several of those, and it's they're so much fun. But there's a lot of details involved with stuff like that, with
Right.
creating weekend itineraries and activities and things like that. And then there's also clients who really just they do want maybe that typical, one day celebration, but they do want to take it to another level where, most clients don't have that type of a budget, and they explained to me that they don't want the typical centerpiece. They want me to come up with something that's a wow factor. They want me to come up with other elements of decor in their reception space that are a wow factor. So there's a little more creativity on my end, and where I have to come up to, they've seen it all, right? So they want me to come up with something that's elevated to another level, that they know that their guest list is going to come in and see it, and you're going to have their breath taken away because they haven't seen certain decor, seen certain centerpieces, or arrangements, or something that their entertainment wise, that we have going on at their reception or their cocktail hour. So it's also for that kind of clientele as well. And those are sometimes, they've been high profile people, they've just been people who really are investing in their wedding, and just want it to be to that level. So it can definitely, it covers a little bit of a vast variety, but it's really for someone who's just taking their wedding to another level.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love the weekend ones. It always reminds me of a Hallmark. Hallmark movie
Yes.
wedding. So those are great. I want to tell our listeners that we will be posting on our social media, which is New Jersey Wedding Podcast for Instagram, Facebook, and our website, links to Jennifer TolentoEvents.com, as well as her Instagram site, so that you can just click right on those links and go to our website, go to her Instagram site. Your Instagram, I'm going to say one of the first postings is the couple with their two dogs. How cute. Dogs in tuxes, always a good one. But a lot of great pictures, and what her website's fantastic. You can really see what she does and see her portfolio and her packages and all, you know.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope that it does convey the love that I put into this. This is obviously, my company. So it's you work with me
Passion.
the entire time. I'm not, one of those wedding, houses where it's like, okay, you meet with me and now I'm pointing you off to somebody else.
Right.
The clients work with me the entire time. And I'm really passionate about what I do, and I love absolutely love what I do.
That's always the plus of working with the person who owns the company. It is your passion, and
Yes,
it's what you do. It's you. You are the face of it, and that's really a wonderful thing. Well, Jennifer, thank you for joining us today. And we really
absolutely.
appreciate it. And we look forward to working
That's
with
great.
you in this 2024, 25 and beyond season.
Yes, absolutely. It's always a pleasure working with you both, and I enjoyed our conversation. And yes, and keep doing what you guys are doing. You're great, great at what you do, which is why I continue to recommend you guys as well. Yeah, and I hope your listeners enjoy this segment.
Yes.
I think it was great. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a
Bye-bye.
Take
great
care.
Monday.
You too. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.